Okay, we've got a Fury Extreme Tempest, or Fury Tempest 3D here. Got our radio on and at mid stick. Aileron, or the pitch throttle stick, mid stick. All the servo wheels, servos, everything's at 90 degrees. All our geometry's good. Same over here, with the exception of the elevator, which on this particular model is at 2.5 degrees rearward due to the linkage in the back. And that was achieved by placing the servo wheels as close to 90 degrees on the servos as possible, and then use a little sub trim to get them exactly right. And now we're going to set up the swash plate, get it level, and make sure there's no interaction as it goes up or down. What I'll do is put the swash tool on here, bring it down to it almost touches, snug it up. Mine's a little out of true, so I check everything at the same point on the tool. I just use this white screws indicator. You can see a little gap there. Check it at the elevator link. Rotate the model and line it on this other link, and you can see it's got quite a bit more gap. And then do the same thing over here, and you can see there's hardly any gap at all. So what we need to do is adjust each link until we have equal gap around the entire swash, and that gets you a level swash plate at mid stick. And next we will set the plate level top and bottom using the ATV setting of the radio. So we just take and what I like to do is find the closest one, which in this case is the elevator, and adjust. Yeah, actually I think this this link over here may be a touch closer there. You can see the gap. You can see how it's out of level. So we'll adjust there. This particular helicopter, I've got left and right hand threaded turnbuckles, which makes it a little bit easier to adjust since you don't have to dismount the link. These are brand new due to a recent crash, so they're a little snug to adjust. But you get that. Now there's no gap on that particular link. There's your good shot of the gap. Got a few thou there. And then just while the hell is in position, do the other side here. It's got quite a bit larger gap. So we'll adjust that link. Again, we'll just, some models you're going to have to pop the links off to adjust them. Most models. I crash a lot, so I got the left and right hand adjusters. Okay, and now you can see got a very small gap there. Equal on both sides. Okay, and then we got to do the rear elevator link. And it is very close also already. So one final eyeball check. I think I got this one a little bit tight. So we'll shorten that link up just a little bit, and there it's about the same. And that's all you have to do for center stick. Now what we need to do is go to the top setting. You can do bottom if you want to. I do it in hold, which is my maximum travel. Same process. I'm using a 9Z radio. Just remember on the 9Z, when you make ATV adjustments to correct any servo travel differences, that you do it in every mode. So you can see here, we're pretty good there. You can hear the servos, so one of them's a little tight. And as you see over here, it's a little bit tighter. There's no gap at all. And in the rear, it's also tight. So what I'm going to do is just extend the travel of this one a tiny bit. So you go to On 9Z, you go to Condition, ATV. That is what's the pitch servo on this CCPM setup. We go to it. That is the A rate. And we need just a little bit more. And 2 clicks. That's at 102%. And we got a few thousandths gap there. A little tight on that side. That is the ailerons. We'll go to there. And that is on the B rate, which I've got at 101. We'll knock it down to 100. Now it's about the same. Those two. And we check the elevator. And it could use maybe 1 point. We go to elevator. This is on the A side. It's at 102 already. We go 1 more, 2 more. 2 more is too much. Okay, here's 103. And now we're equal all the way around. So that gives us, and you can see my tool there's a little out of round. It's been smashed in the toolbox. We're going to do the same process.
That bottom's
You got a tiny gap there. A little better view of that. It's hard to get this. And we check the other side. And it's also very good, just a few thou. So it's got a little bit more gap. That's the pitch. Go to pitch. This is on the B rate. And actually go down a number to tighten that one up. We got a tiny gap. Tiny gap. Alright, that's at 100%. This particular heli, the servos are matched pretty well, just by coincidence. So we've got the elevator servo and the pitch servo matched up pretty well there. And we got a, aileron servo. And we got to do the elevator servo. For the elevator, that's on the B rate. And there's 100 or 98. That's a little tight. There's 99. That looks good. So that's all there is to it. Now when we move our swash up and down, it travels nice and smooth with no interaction at all. Now this is on a 9Z radio, but I think about anything has ATVs. Now what's important is that you go to each mode on your radio and duplicate those settings that we just set up in the hold condition. So we want to, the way I do is just go through each condition. On the elevator we have 103 and 99, and just match that up on each condition for each servo, aileron, elevator, and pitch. Probably can't get this on camera, but as you switch conditions, the numbers don't change for that particular servo. You have to remember to each servo in each condition, and that's your swash plate. Another method of doing this, if you don't have a swash tool, would be a little flat plate laying on the swash with a couple little cheap bubble levels from Lowe's or somewhere. And it doesn't really matter if the heli's level. You want it close so you know the bubble's not bottomed out. And I don't like this method near as well, but one way to look for interaction is move the swash total throw and check for the bubbles moving as you go up and down. If you have one particular spot in your travel, you need to find out what's causing it. You see these move a little bit, but I'm satisfied with that. So that's just another way of doing it, or another check. That's a 10 and 10 pitch change, plus 10 minus 10 there. So under full travel, I've got hardly any motion at all in the aileron, a little bit in the elevator, and that's probably just a little difference in the servos. Just another way of doing the same job.